All right. Well, first of all, thanks everybody for joining us tonight. Let's start with a quick introduction. I'll let the panelists introduce themselves and I'll get us kicked off. So my name is Charles Hirsch. I work with Special Olympics Massachusetts in the marketing and communications side of things. I've been with the organization since 2015. And as I was talking with Brandon about, had some incredible experiences over the years, including going to Seattle as part of the USA Games delegation, which is definitely a highlight. But we're really excited to be presenting some new athlete leadership stuff today. I've had a chance to work with, I saw Matt Millett on the call too, on some of his athlete leadership work. And we've had different levels of success with athlete leadership over the years. We're excited to move forward in the way we are now. So I'll let Allie, who's actually our official host now, she can go next and introduce herself. And then you can hand it off to whoever you want, and we'll just get to the end of that group and then we'll jump in.
Sounds good. I'm Allie. I've been with Special Olympics for about 1.5 years now. I work with Charles on the media side of things. I run our social media, blog writing, newsletters, things like that. So for athlete leadership specifically, I'll be part of the content squad crew, and I will pass it along to Erin.
Hi, everyone. I see a lot of familiar faces. I'm Erin. I have been at Special Olympics just about as long as Allie has, so like 1.5 years, and I am our manager of marketing and media production. So I am pretty much like the content creator for all of our stuff. So I will also be with the content squad. I'll kick it over to Steph.
Hi, everyone. Stephanie Esposito. I oversee all of our peer-to-peer fundraising initiatives for Special Olympics Massachusetts. So that is Polar Plunge. That's our partnership with Law Enforcement Torch Run and all the events they do. That's our Extra Mile community, which is our Boston Marathon team and our 5Ks that we just had a couple weeks ago, and everything in between. So if it's got to do with fundraising, I am probably involved.
Who are you going to pass it to?
Oh man, I broke the rules. Sorry guys. Christian, you're up next.
Hey guys, I'm Christian McCormick. I am Director of Development for Special Olympics, and I focus more on our partnerships and our corporate partnerships. So I work a lot with Steph in the fundraising arm of the organization, and I will be part of the Inclusion Ambassadors training as well. So we'll be talking a lot about how we want you all involved with our community organizations as well as our corporate partners in that one. And then I will pass it to Vicky.
Hi guys, Vicky DiNatale. Good to see everyone. I am the Community Outreach and Fitness Manager here at Special Olympics Massachusetts. I've been here for about 5 years. I had the pleasure of being the HOD this past year for the USA Games in Orlando, Florida. I will be overseeing all fitness captain activities for this athlete leadership. And
all
back
right.
to Allie.
I was going to say, I think that wrapped up all of the intros. So now we can jump into the presentation.
Thanks.
So we're basically going to start with we always like to show the mission before we get started. So for anybody who hasn't seen the mission, here's the mission of Special Olympics Special Olympics Massachusetts as our own organization, but it mirrors Special Olympics Incorporated. But I think the key piece here is the bit that's highlighted. It says demonstrate courage, experience joy, and share personal skills, gifts of spirit, and friendship with their families, their fellow Special Olympics athletes, and the community. And the reason I highlighted that is because that's really the essence of the athlete leadership piece of Special Olympics, is that you're taking ownership and demonstrating all these things on your own in your own way and with your community. So we can move on to the next slide. All right, so a little bit of brief history on athlete leadership here in Massachusetts and kind of more globally. It was developed as a program by Special Olympics International, and it was really focused on the areas that they saw were important. And they have to look at things through the lens of the entire world. And so it was very broad, it was very high level, and it was a great first step in entry into athlete leadership and something that was definitely needed. It was, however, like I said, a one-size-fits-all approach. It was kind of very regimented trainings for anybody who's been through any of them, including global messengers, athletes as coaches, athletes as officials, governance, a few others. It was very regimented in how the training was presented, and also the follow-up and the ways in which you were supposed to kind of take that training and use it to be a leader within the organization. It was part of a system that might not fit every state program. If you look across the country or across the world, every program is a little bit different, and it's a reflection of the state or the location that it's part of. And this athlete leadership program was not necessarily built that way. It was very top down in the way that it was developed. So that's what it was. And for those of you who've been around for a while, we've kind of started and stopped and started and stopped over the years. But now we're hoping to really get into it in a way that's more intentional and with a little bit more purpose. And so the goal is to be focused on Massachusetts priorities. And so that's the Special Olympics Massachusetts, not, Governor Baker who's heading out, not his priorities, but Special Olympics Massachusetts priorities, which include leadership development across the board. So that's not just athletes, that's volunteers, coaches, our corporate partners, anybody who's part of the organization that can be a leader. We want to help them develop in that way. We want to provide you guys and help you work on skills that will help you promote inclusion in your own way. And so if anybody's been paying attention over the last couple of years, things have changed the way that we do our work. And the way that we're finding the most success is through people bringing Special Olympics to their community, and then building, whether that's a sports program like the skills centers, or corporate partnership programs with volunteerism or fundraising. But they're bringing Special Olympics to their friends, their networks, their workplaces, and their communities. And we want to give you guys the skills to continue to do that. The trainings, all the ones that we're going to talk about today, were developed by Special Olympics Massachusetts for you guys. Some of them will include elements from Special Olympics International, but we wanted to make it work for what you need and what we're trying to do here in the state. And the best part is all that stuff that SOI has been working on for years and years and years, we still have access to that, and we still have access to their expertise. And so we'll be working with our friends at Special Olympics International if we have any questions to get advice, and we'll also be keeping an eye on what they're doing. So that way, if there's any new stuff that does make sense for us, we'll jump right on. So next slide. All right, so where we're starting, there could be athlete leadership for every single aspect of the organization, and hopefully one day we'll get there. But we wanted to start with three things that we're ready to go, and we're going to have kind of immediate impact. And so those three areas are the fitness captains, inclusion advocates, or ambassadors. I think we changed the name after I wrote this, and the content squad. And so fitness captains, Vicky will get a little more in depth on. For inclusion ambassadors, we'll hear from Steph and Christian, and then we'll all talk about the content squad. I think Aaron's going to take the lead on that to get a little more in depth, but hopefully you all checked out the website to see what they were about. We're rolling out the training starting in early 2023. I know content squad will be kind of mid-January. After the training is over, we're going to have a program for you to take these skills and use them in the real world and put them to use consistently and for a pretty good amount of time, hopefully. That's the goal. Where we're going, we're hoping to, again, develop leadership across all areas of the organization for all people who we work with. So not every opportunity will require the same level of training. So just a quick example, in the content squad, we're going to have, I believe, it's a 6-week training session where we meet consistently for just over a month. Some of these other programs might have something similar, or a 1 or 2 day session, but they're really, again, designed to fulfill the goals of the program and not just requiring a certain number of hours or anything like that. And then we want to be able to be flexible and adjust as our community changes and as our needs and goals change. And so, like I said, we're starting with these 3 things. We'll add more. If things aren't working out, we'll probably drop them. But we want to have that flexibility and be really, again, intentional on what we're doing. I think that pretty much covers it. Is there anything else, or are we jumping right in?
Maybe just one more thing is we have these 3 unique programs, but I think want to, for the first year, just choose the one that you think that you want to pursue for this year. And I know some of you on your survey selected a 2 or 3 programs that you're interested in, but we want you to focus on one so that you can get the full potential out of that program.
Perfect. Yeah, that's a great point. And I guess I think everyone's going to say a little bit about this, but I just do want to make the point that these are really designed to be used. And so what we're going to ask in return for putting the time into the training is that after we're done with the training, that any athletes that participate really commit to, I'll just, again, speak for the content squad. We're going to want everybody to commit to at least a year of being on that content squad and helping us do all the work that Aaron's going to talk about. One other piece is that we really want to make sure that everybody gets the most out of it. And the way to do that, and this is across the board for Special Olympics, so this is not unique to here in Massachusetts, is that everybody who participates does have to have a mentor. And that person can be a friend, a family member, a coach, someone from their school or work. But they do have to have a mentor, and you need to bring the mentor with you. We do not have the capacity to recruit mentors for everybody who wants to be part of the athlete leadership program. And so we are going to ask that anybody that's participating bring their mentor to be a part of the trainings. And each, again, I feel like I keep saying this, but each training is going to be very different and unique to itself. And so what the mentor's specific tasks may change, but the biggest thing is they're there to support you as the athletes, and really help you get through the trainings and answer any questions you might have as you're doing any of the homework or the self-work or group work that you're going to be doing throughout the course of the training, and also beyond once you're part of the program. But yeah, so I just want to make sure that I know we had a couple of questions before, when we first sent the email out about the mentors, and I just want to make sure that was clear to everyone. Again, if you have any questions, hold them to the end, but I think we're ready to jump into the first section, which will be Vicky. All right, Vicky, you're up.
All right, no pressure, going first. All right, so I will just talk briefly, overview kind of what the fitness captain, what it entails, and then talk about some of the requirements. And again, if you have questions, just let us know. So as a fitness captain, it's right in the word. We're looking for people who are super interested in sharing their health and fitness journey. Really want to have people be inspired to live a healthier lifestyle. So for fitness captains, you can take 3 different paths. So the first one is going to be a social media fitness captain. The second is going to be an in-person event and program fitness captain. And then the third is both. So you don't have to necessarily pick one if you want to do a social media fitness captain or an event program fitness captain. Social media fitness captain, think of posting healthy tips. Maybe you're posting, a small section of your workout that you did. Maybe you're posting, a recipe or, a healthy hydration tip. So you're really just posting on these social media channels. So we can get the message out there about health and fitness. And in event/program fitness captain, you're going to be in person. So thinking of maybe going to local sport tournaments, hosting, a hydration station. Maybe you're hosting a warm-up station so people can get warmed up before their games. If you're part of a team, you can always think of doing a fitness program with the team, or you can run your own fitness club or workout group. So there's lots of different, ways that you can be a program fitness captain. And then again, you can pick both. So just some requirements, really wanted to have people who are passionate about being, healthy, living a healthy lifestyle, and sharing that journey. Again, you must have a mentor, and generally speaking, we want you to be active within that first year. Some just additional requirements. So if you're going to do social media, you must have your own smartphone, and we're asking you guys to post at least 2 times a month. And then you must have your own accounts, whether it's Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. And, you know, you don't have to have all of them. You can just have Instagram, and that's totally fine, but you must have your own account. And then if you want to be in person, you know, a program fitness leader or a fitness captain, you have to have your own transportation there. You should feel comfortable speaking to people. It might not be a crowd, but, you know, definitely speaking to, you know, groups of people. With this, we want you to be at least active only 2 times within the first year. Again, generally requirements is at least once, but really hoping that we can get in person at least twice a year. This is a lot lower than social media just because it takes that much more, you know, to figure out where and how and when you're going to do in person. So we're asking 2 times within the year. And then you might have other non-assignments to complete. You know, we might ask you to write a blog about a healthy recipe. So it's not necessarily social media, but it's not in-person requirement. Other expectations, you know, looking for being self-motivated. You must attend all of the training sessions. And then we might have bi-monthly fitness captain meetings after the training, just so that we can touch base with each other, see what we're up to, maybe brainstorm. So you're going to be expected to do those as well. And as for the training, the fitness captain will be all virtual, and it will be 8 hours, and it's going to start probably the end of or middle of February, and it's going to be 1 hour each session. So for 8 weeks, we'll get dates up, you know, going forward. But it's really just basically 1 hour a week for 8 weeks. You guys will learn about different hydration, nutrition, and fitness, and then how to tell people about those as well. And I think that covers it for fitness captain.
All right, moving on. Thanks, Vicki. Inclusion ambassadors.
All right, so for inclusion ambassadors, this opportunity focuses on fundraising and corporate engagement, which are 2 key initiatives for raising money for Special Olympics Massachusetts. We want you guys to be ambassadors for Special Olympics and to be able to tell your stories in the community, which then would help us build inclusive relationships with companies, local law enforcement agencies, other local organizations, and just anyone who would want to be a part of the Special Olympics movement. So some examples of that is you'd represent Special Olympics Massachusetts and engage with the corporate community partners by sharing your stories and experiences of participating within our programs. And you'd attend fundraising events, corporate partner events when called upon, and you could either be a captain or a champion for these fundraising events, such as Polar Plunge, which Steph touched on earlier. Some of the expectations and the commitment that we're looking for is we'll have around 2 training sessions, probably in late January, where we want to teach you guys and have you guys learn skills such as public speaking and storytelling, and just how to share your story to all these companies and other organizations that we partner with, really. And another big commitment is we want you to attend these events when called upon. So again, we host a lot of events. We have a lot of core partners where we would need you guys there to help us spread the mission and help further the movement of Special Olympics. So Steph, if you want to touch on kind of some past examples that some may know of, and then some other expectations that we have, I think that'd be good too.
Yeah, thank you. So like Christian said, we're really excited about having this inclusion ambassador position to help us develop these connections to both our corporate and community partners all over the state. Those partnerships are critical to our mission, and there's no one better suited to help us grow those than you guys. We're looking for inclusion ambassadors who are excited to, for example, talk to businesses about what you love about Special Olympics and how it's impacted your life, engage customers at those businesses, and help us, get them more involved, give them a good experience so they want to come back and do more. We're looking for people who want to help represent your fellow athletes at law enforcement torch run events like Tipicops, captain a polar plunge team. And generally, I think this opportunity is going to also allow the inclusion ambassadors to grow as leaders within their own communities. We're looking for you guys to help us make an impact in the places where you live and work and go to school and socialize and, participate in Special Olympics. And so I think naturally the opportunity is there for you to grow as a leader within, your own life, personally and professionally. With our training, with this program, I think it's going to benefit both Special Olympics as a whole, but also you guys as individuals. So Christian referenced, some real life examples. Some of the initiatives that we're going to be a part of this program aren't going to be new to you guys. Whether it's corporate engagements like, the TD Bank campaign, which was active up until the pandemic, and we're hoping we'll get that back at some point. Spending a day at every Jersey Mike's store in the state, which I'm sure a lot of you were a part of, the Day of Giving back in March. Both of those initiatives are really important to what we're able to do and how we're able to grow our mission and bring more people in to the movement. So we're excited about those opportunities. Law Enforcement Torch Run presents a ton of opportunities for our inclusion ambassadors, whether it's the Tip of Cops, where you can, greet guests at the doors of restaurants, or help, the law enforcement wait tables themselves. Being a part of the Polar Plunge, we really just want our inclusion ambassadors to show people the heart of Special Olympics and make sure that, the folks interacting with our mission are having just an incredible and an unforgettable experience that they won't be able to just walk away from. But there'll be plenty of new experiences and initiatives along the way too. I think, like Charles said about all of these programs, we're starting, small, we're starting from a specific place, but I think with the goal of growing the program and bringing more opportunities for leadership development into, all of these different spaces. So.
Nice. Thank you, Steph and Christian. And then I think we will head on to our third program, Content Squad.
I think that's me. All right. When I first interviewed for my job with Special Olympics, I sat in a room with Charles, and one of the first conversations we had together was about how cool it would be to have our athletes creating content for us at Special Olympics, for our social media channels, for our emails, for our website, all sorts of content, whether it's video or a podcast or a blog. We already have one of our athletes does a podcast bi-weekly with us called the Play Unified podcast, and that's been super successful. And we just want to see this program grow. And like Steph said, what better way than to have you guys telling your own stories, telling other athletes' stories. And I think the hope for this is most of you are sports fans. You play sports because you love sports. So I'm a sports fan. I grew up a sports fan. I played sports, and I wanted to work in sports because that's all I know and that's what I love. So I think a lot of you would love to work in sports one day, and covering sports and covering it on social media and learning how to edit and make your own content. These are tools that we're hoping that you can take from this short 6-week program that you're going to use for the rest of the year. And then hopefully you can go on, spread your wings and be your own content creator. So I think for us, we have a 6-week program. It's going to start, I think, mid-January is what we decided. And it will give you guys a chance to learn the tools that you need to become content creators. So we'll teach you everything from storytelling to actually producing a video. So we'll have the 6 weeks together. And I think the first session we're going to try to do in person. And then the last session, we'll actually have you go out into the field and cover a Special Olympics event. So it'll be pretty cool to take everything that we've learned in the 6 weeks and bring it into the field. So, and then after that, you'll be working for us for a year. So we'll have you posting to our, well, you'll pitch ideas to us about maybe you want to write a story. You'll go out and you'll tell Allie and Charles and I what you want to do and come up with your own ideas, and we'll filter it through and try to post it to our social channels, to our emails, to everything else, so that you guys are the main content creators at Special Olympics, which is pretty cool. So I think same expectations across the board, really, for all of the overarching athlete leadership. We want you to have a mentor that holds you accountable. So yes, they're coming and they're learning with you, but they also are going to be pushing you to do the assignments that we have. Charles wanted me to note that you'll be working for us as a volunteer, it's not paid work. So just so everybody's aware of that. But we might have some fun stuff along the way as you earn your stripes, so to say. So yeah, same expectations. I think for us specifically, some of the expectations are you have to have a phone. A lot of the work done is going to be on your phone. You're going to be creating a lot of social content. And then also having your own public social media accounts, because for us, we could care less if it's coming from my account. We want it to come from you guys, and we want it to be your voice and your stories. So having your own public accounts will help us because we can share the content that you're creating. Sometimes we'll be able to take it and post it on our own accounts as well, but we'll figure that out as we go. And I think that's pretty much it for us. So maybe we move on to if there's any questions overall.
So when do these activities take place?
I think each one will be a little different. I believe we actually have a date for ours, and someone who has a calendar from them can tell me if how far off I am. But I believe the content squad will start on January 22nd, as long as that's a Sunday. It's a Sunday that's either the 21st or 22nd. Is what we're planning to start for content squad, and then it'll run.
Charles, that is the 22nd is a Sunday.
Thank you, Brandon. We will run up until run the following 4 weeks after that. So it'll be Sunday and then 4 weeks of trainings. And then I believe we take off President's Week. And then the last session will be live in person at a Special Olympics event where we'll go and cover it, as Aaron mentioned. So for the content squad, that's when we're planning on running it.
And I guess the question is, are these the things that we will have to go out and do in the community? Are these weekday happenings? Are they weekend happenings?
Most Special Olympics events are on the weekends.
Yeah, but I think maybe Steph or Christian, I wonder if this is for you guys.
Yeah, I can speak to this. Miranda, I think there's going to be a variety of opportunities both during the week and on the weekends. I think when we're interacting with a lot of our corporate partners, those folks work Monday through Friday 9 to 5s typically, so we'll want to engage them during their hours. We want to go to our partners and engage them when and where they are. I think there's opportunity. I know all of you have work or school schedules. We're asking that you have a mentor come with you and have your own transportation, all of these things, but we do expect that there's going to be a good enough variety in the opportunities and a fair frequency of them too throughout the year, that there'll be something that works within your schedule at least once every couple of weeks or so.
Okay.
Do you guys know a time on what the trainings will be, like what time frame they will be on those Sundays?
So ours is going to be, it'll be that one Sunday in person, and it's in the morning. I think we're shooting for 9 o'clock. And then it'll be, I think that one we're looking at about it, just like an hour and a half. And then the following sessions will be in the evenings on, I think we said Tuesdays. I'm looking for confirmation.
Yes, at 7:30.
Tuesday nights at 7:30, and they'll all be an hour long is the goal.
Perfect.
And where do these trainings take place?
Those will all be online, the evening ones.
Tomorrow, I'm going to send out.
So
Sorry, Charles, keep going.
No, I was gonna say, instead of because we'll have to answer that 3 different times for all of these questions. So we will follow up with more specifics as well as a survey, because as Ali mentioned, I know a bunch of people picked more than one option, and so we'll send out a survey to everybody who attended this to select one option, and then from there you'll get all those other specifics as well. Yeah, so if there's any specific questions about timing and that sort of stuff, we will get that out before you have to sign up. And so let's hold off and leave that for the follow-up emails, just again because we'll have to answer that for each different program.
Can I ask you one question? Does it matter where in the state you live?
Great question. No, we want leaders everywhere.
Okay.
Yeah.
I
think actually, except for that one Sunday, I think everyone is shooting for online trainings. And so there's that, that's the hope, is that we're going to have lots of online opportunities. Again, something we learned over the last couple of years, and something that wasn't really part of athlete leadership in the past, as trying to make this stuff accessible to as many people as possible.
Hey, Charles and crew, this is Dan.
Hey, Dan.
Does it matter which, like how many mentors can have, like an athlete?
Do you mean like, can one person mentor multiple athletes?
Yeah.
Conceivably. I think if that mentor wanted to make that commitment, then yeah, I think that would be okay.
Okay.
Oh, this is my other question. Can you have a parent be a mentor?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
As long as they can be hard on you.
Can it be my?
I think
sometimes they're too hard, right?
Charles, can it be my sister?
Yes, family members.
My sister's hard on me.
Or like, hey, Aaron.
Yes.
Can it be like a friend from Special Olympics, like for my program? Can it be like a friend?
I think we're hoping that it's, I guess, right, Charles? I don't know. You would know more.
Yeah. I think that, like, really the only requirement is that they're willing to make the commitment, and that they're going to be there to support you in all ways. And so sometimes that means pushing you, and sometimes that means being there to answer questions. So that's really the only requirement that I would say.
Okay.
So wait, so you're not expecting them to be at every meeting, are you?
Yeah, we would like them to be at the trainings. That is part of it, because we will be talking about things that hopefully, and at least I'll speak again for the content side of things, we will be giving you guys homework. And so it would be great if the mentors know what was gone over in class, and so then you guys can work together if needed on some of the homework and that sort of stuff. Well, thank you everybody for joining us. I really appreciate the time.
Thank you.
And hope everybody has a happy holiday. Anybody who's celebrating Hanukkah, go enjoy night number 2. And we'll see everybody in the new year.